Well, hello, how's it going? It's me, Generic Pie, and I'm back today with an episode of Peeping Tom Bombadil. I don't think I've done one of these episodes for a while with the loan tournament and those little guide things I made. So I'm excited to actually see what other players have been doing. This is a game that was sent to me by the one and only Columbo, the man, the myth, the legend. Columbo. Columbo's only been on the server for like 3 months. And he's already played more games than I've played in 2 years. The man truly is a maverick. He's unstoppable. And let's see what happened between him and Commander Swift. Commander Swift, who's also been on this channel before. Hey, Commander Swift, hope you're good. Um, so this was, I believe, a Hobbit League game. It was the second game that they played. Commander Swift was the Shadow, and Columbo was the Free People. So, very interesting role for the Free People. A role you can do a lot with. I wonder if we're going to have some Aragorn crowning zings. Difficult decision with 2 eyes in there. You know, it's with 3 eyes. You're very, very likely to get Aragorn. With 2, I think it's debatable. Shadow starts with Horde from the East and Warm with Sorrow and Toil. So let's see what happens in this exciting game of War of the Ring. Okay, standard army moves to begin with. Gorgoroth and Nir Harad. Okay, yep. The boys are leaving. It's just the two men who have departed, heading south to Gondor. Isengard goes to war. They march down to Easternmet. Saruman comes into play. Into Minas Tirith they go. Moves to Morannon, and the little fella, the little Isengardian, or Dunlanding, heads up to Moria. Aragorn is crowned. The king has returned. And Morannon moves up to Daggerlad. 2 tokens in play here. Are any used? No, they are not. 5 dice on turn 2. You love to see it. In terms of cards, the Free People have drawn the Spirit of Mordor and a blue tile. And the Shadow has not drawn cards. Here we go. Balrog and Stormcrow. Okay. Well, that sets up for a very nice early Lorien takedown, if they decide to go that route. Or you could really put pressure on the Fellowship as well, if you want to block them from going through Moria. Oh yeah, and handy scouts as well for the Free People. Whoa, that is a lot of wills. Okay, so a nice roll for the Shadow. Although potentially the Free People, if they have luck here, if they wanted to, could potentially make up for the complete lack of movement they had turn 1 and just go on a bit of a charge. Maybe even get, you potentially get in. I think a healthy number of moves here would be, you want to definitely make at least 2 moves, maybe 3, 4 is probably pushing it. Right, so yeah, instantly starts moving, understandably. Missed. Warm Restoring Tor goes on the board now that the Fellowship has actually made that crucial move. That's good play by Commander, waiting for that move. Fellowship moves again. Yep, this time they're also missed, so good stuff. Sauron goes to war. I'm just going to have a think about targets for the Shadow here. Alright, so my thinking is, in this situation, as Shadow, there are multiple benefits to going for Gondor. So, I believe that, 1, if you go for Gondor, you're preventing, this army getting out of control. If you send this army up here to the Dew Line, then it's possible that, a mega army gets built up with Aragorn, maybe Gandhi comes into play, and then they just charge into Mordor. And a big stack from here can win the Free People the game if Mordor's not well defended. Also just gives you a big headache, something to worry about. The other benefit is that you're pressuring the Free People to use one of their 2 wills to move. You're basically forcing the... well, not quite, because they do have a token. But I was going to say, they have to use 1 die to move Aragorn out, and then they're going to have to use another die to muster. So that's 2 of their dice committed. They can still move using this die though, because if they didn't have the token, they'd have to use 1 die to put Gondor to war, and then 1 die to muster. But the token makes a difference. So I think Columbo, assuming this army does go to Gondor, Columbo's going to have to get Gondor down 1 using the token ASAP. He doesn't. Okay, that's interesting. So let's see if the Shadow does still go for Gondor now, because I think that makes Gondor even better, potentially. Hit this time on an eye. Goes to Moria. Okay. That's very interesting for the Balrog. If you play Balrog now, you're guaranteeing an extra tile, basically. So the Gandhi doesn't die to 1. Another 1, so kills Gandhi to a 1. Okay, that's interesting. Normally, killing Gandhi to a 1 is fine. In a game such as this... Okay, this is actually one of the things I talked about in my guide video. Killing Gandhi for a 1 in a normal game, absolutely fine. In a game where you've already separated 5 HP from the Fellowship, do you still want to take Gandhi for a 1? One argument would say you may not roll another will for a few more turns, and thus you are stuck on 5 dice. Being stuck on 5 dice for like 1 or 2 turns in a game that could be a tight corruption game, I think there's 2 schools of thought there. I mean, on the flip side, you might just never pull out a 3. You might just keep getting 1s and eyes for 1s, and then you're sat thinking, like, I could have killed Gandhi 3 turns ago. So you're putting it in, the lap of the gods somewhat. But this turn of events does make, because presumably, obviously, this die will be earmarked to crown Gandhi. Not to crown Gandhi, to bring back Gandalf the White. That means that if you do charge Minas Tirith, Columbo's not going to have a single die to remove Aragorn from Minas Tirith, which means that he's going to have to choose between crowning and escaping Aragorn. So this is an interesting situation. Let's see how it pans out. Warn is played. It's going to take... Oh, could get a very strong card here in There Is Another Way. And it does. It does. So that hurts as well. Perhaps another reason not to kill Gandalf there. Well, I don't know. The only way to get rid of it is to go into Lorien anyway, so... or to Minas Tirith, so you're probably just going to have to accept that's going to happen. Okay, this is very interesting. So Commander Swift, I think this is a mistake. I think this is where you got to... I know it feels bad. I know it's not nice to go and fight the big man, but you've actually got a really good opportunity to put pressure on the Free People's Dice. And now not only are you leaving Mordor super open, but you're not putting that pressure on the Free People's Dice. Because, yeah, if you get a trapped Aragorn, you can take that man down. You can take him down. It's much easier to kill an Aragorn army than it is a Gandalf army. And at the very least, you're probably getting a ring or stopping the shadow for the Free People getting up to 5 dice. 6 dice. Right, so army movements. Gandalf the White comes into play into Fangorn. Goes up to the Dew line. Okay, going for the standard play. Changes mind. Decides to muster an extra elite in Moria. Okay. I mean, when you've already got Durin's Bane and a great host and a big army, do you need an extra elite? Nice, but using this to muster elites when you could use it to do army moves, not sure personally. Yeah, leaves 1 behind to get the extra reroll. That makes sense. Maybe that's why, because they wanted to leave 1 behind for the reroll. And also maybe Balrog is being earmarked to hurt the Fellowship. I think in a game where there's this few, relatively meager HP left in the Fellowship, I think this is a good game to play Balrog rather than Durin's Bane. This army can probably take Lorien with the Great Host. Certainly with the Deadly Strife. You don't need the Durin's Bane. Uses 2 army moves to get... where did they go? Carrick and Iron Hills. Okay, that's good. And Old Forest Road is attacked. We've got probably going to go no card against the Scouts. Yeah. Scoots away into the Woodland Realm. Do you use a token here? You do use a token. Who are you going to get down? You could get the L's down 1, but then you need to roll 2 musters. On 6 dice, that's fairly likely. You can then put them down once at the start of next turn, which means that when they attack one, you can get a single elite. So just need to roll 2 musters. Okay, but instead they go for the north, which is also a clever play. That means that when... Yeah, I think that... Well, it basically pressures the Shadow to attack into Dale. Or if the Shadow does attack into Woodland Realm, they create a problem for themselves because they're going to put the north to war. I think that's either of those plays would have been fine. There and back again. Lidless Eye, Power of Tom Bombadil, and Orcs multiplying again. Always takes a little bit to get Orcs multiplying again after this army's already left, but still, be great for reinforcements if you need them from Gundabad. One eye goes in, no more are rolled. Columbo would have got the 2 musters. Decides to hide the Fellowship straight away. The Shadow doesn't have any hurt the Fellowship cards, so they can't reveal them in Moria. But yeah, I think that's wise to hide straight away. The Lidless Eye is played the Commander Swift. Wait, what? What's going on? I see. Okay, you are actually using the Lidless Eye to put. I've never, literally, never seen that done before. Never, ever, ever have I seen that done before outside of Mordor. Getting the extra reroll. You're effectively using 2 dice to get 1 extra die to try and hit them coming out of Moria. Is that good value when you could use that die to do something else, like play Balrog of Moria? I think I would rather just play Balrog of Moria with one of those Palantirs and draw a card. I don't think this is... Because then at least... Because the Balrog's going to hit regardless, right? And even with this, there's no guarantee. Shadow can just move... Freebuild just move once. Still rolling on 6s on 4 dice. Don't love it. Don't love it, personally. Elven Cloak goes in. Woodland Realms put under siege. So, okay. I think that might also be a mistake now. Because now we can get Dale mustered. I think you probably want to go for Dale. Cover Carrack. Maybe you cover Carrack later with Orcs multiplying again and move these guys across. And then use that as a bigger army to hopefully take down the whole of Dewline. Or you could just attack Dale, leave the army here, and then cover Carrack with another half army move. So yeah, I think that could be messy. Because now you have to attack into Dale regardless. If you don't attack into Dale when they muster, big trouble is afoot. Yep. Oh, Commander Swift, my man. Commander Swift. There's trouble brewing in the land of the North. I think this is a critical error. Should never, ever, ever, unless there's a really good reason, like you just have, I don't know what the reason would be, but just nip this in the bud. Get rid of the North while you can, because this is going to grow. And once this gets to this is going to be up to 5 HP. 5 HP in a city is a huge thorn in your side. If they get something like Help Unlooked For before you can take this down, they don't have Help Unlooked For. Or they could just either hold this or they can retake Woodland Realm if you have a bad combat here. Just very, very dangerous situation for the Shadow. All right, so Lorien is put under siege as well. Another muster, yep. There's only 1 attack left for the Shadow here. Let's see what Commander Swift decides to do. So you could even get a 3rd muster in there. I mean, do you even want to move twice in this situation as the Free People? Probably not. You probably want to move just once, given the fragile nature of the Fellowship and the fact that you've got quite a strong military footing. I think I'd just move once and then I'd muster a 3rd time, actually. Witch King comes into play. Yep, musters again. And goes for Woodland Realm. Oh man, yeah, there's going to be military shenanigans in this game. Okay. Right, so we have a strategy card, and that's going to be either Sudden Strike or... Oh wait, sorry. You got some great cards for this. Let's see what happens. Deadly Strife against Advantageous. I think that's also dangerous to play. In a way, like, okay, Deadly Strife... Actually, no, I think you just got to get this done. You got to just get this done. Hope this goes well for you, Commander Swift. 2, 3. And only 2 back, though. That's good. Press draw. Okay, it looks likely that... Do you play the Great Host here? Probably. Yeah, you should, I think. Yeah, it does. No hits back. And, okay, so you've got a reasonable sized force here, but not a big enough force to attack into Dale now. So you're kind of just going to have to sit here. So very awkward for the Shadow. Fellowship moves once as predicted. They are not hit on the 4. Yeah, so that's it. Like, that's 2... You've committed 2 dice to do that. And you didn't get anything for it. Southron's go 1 step down. What does the free people get? Athelas and Swords and Eriador. And the Shadow gets Fighting Urukai. Oh, that must have been from card cycling, Shelob, and Threats and Promises. Okay. Alright. Let me see here. So, in terms of dice, pretty good rolls all round, I would say. Nice, lots of variety for everybody. Fellowship moves, now that they're safely out of the... Yeah, see... Save... Okay, so, I mean, obviously, what Shadow's doing here is just going for, like... They're playing as if nothing around them is happening. It's like, in the sense that this is... Everything Shadow has done is absolutely fine if, you know, Aragorn isn't crowned in Minas Tirith and there isn't a Dale army happening. Like, because of the context of the game, would have been much more inclined to play Balrog or Moria, so at least you get a tile in this situation, and to really try and nip these 2 in the bud. Or at least, you know, once you decided not to nip this in the bud, nip this in the bud. Alright, so the Fellowship is not hit. Musters some Nazgul. More Northmen are coming. The Northmen are coming, man. They're coming for you and your children. Lock up your daughters. Nazgul move around. Create a little Nazgul web around the Fellowship. Wisdom of Elrond is drawn. Lorien is attacked. Now we're presumably going to see Durin's Bane played. What's the free people got? They've got a nice little Confusion, a nice little Advantageous. One of those 2, presumably. Confusion. I think that's a correct play. Pre does nothing. Yeah, lots of rip from Commander Swift. It's not really going Commander Swift's way so far. Does get 2 hits, though, on the combat roll. 1 hit back from Columbo. So that's pretty good for the... Oh, no. Yeah, so that's not too bad for Commander Swift. Downgrades, and we get an Onslaught against an Advantageous. Okay, that's reasonable. Don't really have any other cards to play there. You could have, if you'd not left this little schmuck, you could have moved him in. And I think that's a minor error. If you leave one of these guys behind, rather than this guy behind, then that activates a Devri of Orthanc, which I think in this situation is a better card than Onslaught. Onslaught's a bit more, again, as I said in my guide, this is an okay situation for Onslaught, but if you don't get any hits on the leader, basically in the actual combat, then you're in a bit of a fix if the free people get some hits back at you to play the Onslaught. Luckily for Commander Swift, does get 2 hits, 3 hits back. So this is prime onslaughting. Yeah, I mean, goes for 3, which is reasonable. Gets 2. Yeah, that's solid. That's what I probably would have done. I would have gone for 3, I think. More North musterage up in Carrick and Dale. Those Northmen, out of control. It's reproducing like rabbits. Alright, so the Southlands and Eastlings are coming into play somewhat. What they do now, I mean, this is the problem. This is why, if you don't, like, what's this army doing now? You're going to use this whole army just to take out Dale. Like, you can't even match the Dale army now, when it used to be one little guy. And now how many HP is this? It's 8 HP from 1 to 8. Ah, that's just so painful for the Shadow. And that's just, yeah, that alone can just lose you a game. Certainly from a military perspective, you know. From the Shadow's point of view, I think in this game you're almost pressured into a corruption strategy. Because it's going to be very hard to take anything else in Jew. You know, when long way off Rohan right now. Dol Amroth is a target, but yeah, it's just going to be very, very awkward now for the Shadow to win militarily, I think. So yeah, corruption seems to be the more likely avenue. All right, is the military shenanigans, are they starting? Okay, okay, this is clever from... okay, so what I presume the Carracker's army is going to move in here as well. Yeah. So what Columbo has realized is that because of the dice, they can use an army die and go for Dol Guldur. However, what Columbo doesn't know is as soon as Columbo goes to Narrows of the Forest, Commander Swift will then use this Palantir to play Orcs Multiplying again. This army can still take down Dol Guldur, but it's not going to be anywhere near as easy as Columbo is currently hoping. You should have waited there. Wait until this, because now, what was going to happen was Columbo was going to use this die to move this army. Now Columbo can use this army to do something else. Let's see if Columbo commits. Still commits to it. Still commits to it. Okay. So that doesn't deter Columbo. So it made no difference. But if it had deterred him, that means that he could have easily just sent this army back. You kind of want him to either be forced to commit against his will, or if he does decide to come back, it's more expensive for him to come scurrying back. He has to use then 2 dice. Move some Nazgul in. I think that's reasonable. The Witchkin goes down south. And I don't know what's going on there. Why did the... Okay, decides not to move Nazgul and instead plays a red tile. I kind of like the Nazgul movement, but I guess you can do that next turn. But then you might not roll characters next turn. Anyway, we go on to turn number 5. The 3 people draw Kieran ships, so that you know makes Dol Amroth a lot harder. Wizard Staff, Shadow gets Isildur's Bane and New Powers Rising. Okay, those are good cards. Dol Guldur under siege. Lots of Palantirs again for the Shadow. Bit awkward there. Can I muster a Nazgul into Dol Guldur? No, cannot do that. You can use your character die to move Flying Nazgul, like you were thinking about doing last turn. Yes, does so. Okay, so now, I mean, the one positive for Commander Swift here is that, where are the other victory points coming from for the 3 people? Will this army be big enough to take this and Moria? I'd say that's fairly unlikely, given there's 2 musters here. But this army only needs to be able to get 2 victory points now. So if I'm if I'm Columbo with these musters, I'm certainly getting Gondor to war and starting to build up a mega stack, because there's lots of targets. You know, you could even go for the cities here. You know, with the North at war, try and get Angmar and Farharad, or at least try and bait that as a potential target. That just gives the Shadow a headache, because there's only so many dice the Shadow can use to defend. If the Shadow puts all their dice defending Mordor, then you just go for the cities sneakily. That's in this game particularly, that could be quite effective. Although, having said that, Aragorn has just run away. That was not what I was expecting. Unless you had... okay, I wonder what the thinking is there.
The wizard is never late. Nor is he
Gandhi is joining the party. Okay, so you're using that to protect... using him to protect Rohan. And making this army... okay, I can buy it. Yeah, fair enough. New Paris Rising is played. Good timing to have someone in here, to be fair. Starts moving armies to, yeah, combines some Westermet. Smart move. Shelves Lair goes into the pool. Dol Guldur is attacked. Let's see what we've got in terms of cards here. So, okay, the fact that you've got Servant of Secret Fire, that really helps. And also... Brave Stand is naturally strengthened too. So yes, those are two great cards for this situation. Shadow has nothing that is of any use. Servant of Secret Fire, lovely play. That's huge, absolutely huge for Columbo. Terrible roll for Commander Swift. Goes for the press. Just needs a 6 now. Gets the 6. Oh, masterfully done by Columbo. Good stuff. Good stuff. That was a great use of the card there. Commander Swift draws a strategy card, draws into Return of the King / Swarm of Bats. With the size of this army now, this army could quite realistically take Moria. There's real potential there. Well, with 2 musters, maybe not. But this army could march south and go for Mordor itself. It's tricky, though, because you need to hold Dol Guldur at the same time. So you need to split the army somewhat. Really, it's really going to depend on what dice, especially the Shadow rolls next turn. If the Shadow doesn't get many musters next turn, could be a rough one. And also the Shadow has to be quite clever about where they muster here, because you've got to cover multiple bases, to be honest. The Fellowship is moved, sorry, they are hit. They do so 2-tile Legolas is sacrificed at the altar. And Dale is now attacked. So still going for those victory points, the Shadow. Going to go up to 5 here. Free people don't have any, doesn't play a card. Doesn't play some of bats, okay. And 1 hit each. Right, up to 5 victory points. Where are you getting the other 5? Feels more likely that the free people are going to get up to 4 before you can get up to 10. Certainly feels that way. Does get a swarm of, sorry, a Shadows moving though, which could be quite handy. I'd say the most likely targets would be Erebor. If you get Corsairs especially, then maybe you could take this, and that could be the 5. But you'd need a hell of a turn to do that without also losing the game to military, I think. Probably going to take at least 2 turns to do that minimum for the Shadow. And I think it'd be very hard for the free people, sorry, the Shadow to defend at the same time if they go that hard on military. Columbo uses the muster to put the Rohan down 1 on the political track. And an elite is mustered in North Dunland. Okay. So maybe, what's the thinking there? Is that to potentially defend Moria while also keeping an active? Because okay, there is actually quite a convenient way. Yeah, Moria. Okay, I take it back. Now that New Paris Rising has been played, Moria is not a good target at all for the free people. Far too easy to defend, unless this army goes marching off somewhere. I'd probably be eyeing up Mordor. Either with this army, a combination of them both. Maybe get the Rohirrim into play as well, which Columbo has just started to do. Yeah. Okay, we go on to turn number 6. Shadows of the Misty Mountains. Okay, just talking about defending Moria. That was the opportune card for that. Day 9 Footsguard, great for defending, obviously, the dwarves. an end card. That'll be handy because there is a lot going on in Isengard. Okay, only the one muster here. And a bajillion attacks. Oof. Okay, this could be it. This could be it. I mean, how many attacks have the Shadow got? What? The Shadow doesn't have enough attacks or a ring to be able to take back Dol Guldur this turn, because it would be at least three. They need 4 attacks just to even have a chance of taking it back. With this many attacks, you can leave one behind Dol Guldur. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and attack 1, 2, 3. And if you go to you can go for Morannon. And this army, if you also use a die to bring in Aragorn, if you bring in Aragorn now, then you use all the other dice to attack, and then finish with a ring. You can attack playing Anduril into Morannon. The Shadow can only barely muster a limited defense. I think that's pretty much a game-winning roll. The only thing that I can think of is if the Shadow cycles cards, cycles in using the Palantirs and cycles into something like Mustering of a Long Plan War, and then moves that into Morannon. But even then it's going to be tough, because Shadow just sucks at defending. Okay, let's see if Columbo goes for what I'm thinking could be an almost surefire victory, unless I'm missing something, which I do. Oh, he's probably worried about Day Without Dawn as well. Moves the Fellowship. I think that would have been game. I think that would have been game, because I just don't see how the Shadow can defend. Because I just think this army takes Morannon, most likely. If you play Anduril, you play Sudden Strike. You got a Valor. You got some good, decent free people military attack cards. That's kind of an all or nothing play, though. Like, you might be able to just take less risks and win the game more steadily by doing like a more guaranteed assault. Although I think that's got a very good chance. Anyway, the Fellowship's moved, just a 1 tile. Sorry, they're hit, just for a 1 corruption. Shadows of the Misty Mountains played. Pass, Columbo, biding your time. Oh, yeah. In this situation, I would say, you, as Shadow, you absolutely don't want to use your musters early in the turn. When there's free military shenanigans on the board, do not muster early. Wait until the last minute to use that muster die. I've made that mistake myself many times, but that can, when you haven't got a ring. Okay, they're going this way. I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised they're going this way. I would have thought this is a much better target. I don't think Moria is takeable, personally. Maybe they're trying to liberate Lorien. That could be fun. Shadows Moving's played. Has a think. Combines in Gorgoroth. Groups up in North Dunland. And then starts moving the Witch King down. So kind of earmarking the Easterlings to take Erebor, presumably, or at least sit on Erebor. And this army to try and take back Dol Guldur. Oh, actually, okay. So all the stuff I said before would have actually failed because of the Shadow is moving. Okay, so Columbo, that's why you're a world-famous detective and I'm just a War of the Ring YouTuber. So yeah, okay, so because of a card like Shadow's moving, the Shadow could have actually taken back Dol Guldur and this would have all been a terrible disaster. So yeah, okay, you avoided that possibility. I think is that the one card that could have potentially stopped it, because I mean, Shadow lengthens. I guess there's also stuff like Ring Racer Abroad, Black Captain Commands. Okay, there are 3 cards I think in the deck that would have rendered my plan terribly disastrous. Okay, let's see. I'm learning too here. I'm learning too. Rohan goes one step closer to war on the political track. Covers Carrick wisely. Good job. That's smart. Fellowship moves again. This time they hit again. Also for a 1 tile, no reveal. So that's a running theme. It's this Bane is played. 0 reveal. Revealed into Osgiliath. Must be some big tiles left, right? Yeah, all the 3s are left. So the Fellowship has had a relatively charmed life. They've been hit a lot, but they've been hit by the small tiles. That could mean a Hellish Mordor, though, potentially, if we get to that. Fellowship hides. These armies come... Okay. Not sure about that, because the good thing about this army is it was putting pressure on Dol Guldur. Now you're going back to finish off Erebor? No, it changed his mind. Yeah, I think that's a better move, what you just did. Danes has played. Yep. And puts a Nazgul. That guy's Path Celebrant? What's he doing in Path Celebrant? Has he got any reason to be there? I don't get that move. Am I missing something here? Is that like... Not sure. Okay, we've gone to number 7. Faramir's Rangers, and Smeagol helps Nice Master, and breaking and musterings of a long-planned war. Okay, so that's potentially could be very opportune timing if anything does end up happening in Mordor. Fellowship moves, missed. Timing pressure is starting to, become more of an issue for the Shadow. Fellowship's actually getting close now. Erebor's put under siege. Although if the Shadow can take Erebor, the whole the military victory plan might be much less tenable, because the Shadow could genuinely, be able to get up to 10 before you can get up to 4, or at least be able to match you. Witch King goes up to Erebor. Smeagol helps Nice Masters put into the pool. Erebor is attacked. Let's see the card options we've got here. Shadow's got... Looks like they're starting with presumably a Dread and Despair, which I think would be a very smart starting card personally. 3 people can play Shield Wall. That seems like the obvious option. Maybe a Sudden Strike, you just throw that in there, but that's quite nice for the Gandhi army, so I'd probably go for the Shield Wall. Keeping Faramir's, maybe better to keep Faramir's actually. So you can have more of a credible military threat from Gondor. And you just hope that this can hold. I think that's fine as well. 1 hit from Swift. None from Columbo back. Goes to the press draw. This time we get Desperate Bard. Now we play the Shield Wall. Okay. So that's more likely to be useful in this round. Yeah, already got value for the Shield Wall. And 4 hits back. Dwarves are in fighting mood today. Stop. Fellowship moves. They're double hit. It's a 3. The 3's been well overdue. Only the little cheeky bobbit left. Merry is the last one standing. Walrus on Toil is gone. Have we been doing Walrus on Toil? Can't remember. Celeborn's is drawn using the token, so that's kind of a cruel weather deterrent. Well, not deterrent, but it allows you to know if cruel weather is going to be a threat. Commander Swift decides to cycle strategy cards, so not looking for cruel weather, instead looking for some good Butcher the Fellowship, good strong military cards. Has definitely got one in Deadly Strife. Bit dodgy to play that up here though. Play Deadly Strife up here against a 5. You could get hit 4 or 5 times again, and then there's a chance if it goes really badly that you could get sorted and lose the Witch King. If I was to do it, I'd actually be tempted to move the guys from Dale up into the Erebor army before. Bit slow, but does protect you somewhat. And I suppose with 8 HP you should be okay. Just about. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So the Rivendell and South Downs have all come in to join up in Hollin, which puts the Shadow in a right fix because the Shadow is almost obliged to move this army back into Moria to defend Moria, which means that the Free People can then potentially take back Lorien if they want to. Or the Free People could just go mad and just go for an all-on assault into this huge army, which I would not advise. But yeah, interesting play there, putting pressure. I never would have considered that. I don't think, but it's an interesting one, making it very awkward for the Shadow, but also vacating Rivendell. Cruel Weather. Oh, when did Cruel Weather appear? Was that just cycled into? I don't. Draws a strategy card. Okay, well at some point, Cruel Weather was drawn. Somehow missed it. I don't know how I missed that. Maybe it was card cycling. Maybe I just I'm blind. These armies join up. Commander Swift decides to split forces. Don't know. Is that just the... Okay, well now this Free People have decided they go for Mordor, or do they go and try and put this under siege straight away, so that the Shadow cannot? Well, I suppose you could just get into Mordor and do it first thing next turn. Yeah, gets hit twice. One reveal. Merry dies. And they go into Mordor and are revealed. Wait, why didn't you get another tile, guys? Did you forget the Minas Morgul tile? Because, I mean, even if you go to Gorgoroth, you still went through Minas Morgul. So that was a slight mistake there. There should have been an additional tile draw because the Fellowship was revealed. So that was missed. Anyway, let's have a look at the pool. The pool is... mixed. Some very big tiles in there, some nasty reds, some nice blues, some there's only really, I would say, 3 actually good tiles for the Free People. So it's definitely worse. It's not a good pool, put it that way. But equally I've seen a lot worse. Lots of movement. Oh, sorry. 2 movement. Not many attacks, really. Slightly limited for the Free People here. Let's see what happens here. Oh, wait. Ignore my nonsense. It's because Gollum, it became the guide. That meant that they weren't revealed. Okay, yeah. Ignore my nonsense. There should not have been 2 tiles. All is well in the world of hobbits and men. Right, so decides to move straight away to stop any more pesky red tiles going into the pool. Gets an eye to reveal. Okay, yeah, so as I mentioned much earlier in the game, it felt like a game of corruption was more likely to be the deciding factor if the Shadow was to, have a chance of winning this game. At the moment, step 1, 1, 2, 3. They've still got a good, more than half of the, like 7 corruption away from losing. Well, get 4 more steps. So it's going to either have to be a slow one for the Fellowship or a risky one. But equally, don't see how Shadow... If the Fellowship does take their time going up the Mordor track, how does the Shadow actually win the game? Palantir of Orthanc comes onto the board. Probably want to get rid of that. And Columbo wisely does. Gets the mouth in Moria. Good play. I might have wanted to muster, though. But again, when you've only got 1 muster, it does feel quite dodgy. Hill Trolls has played. In Erebor, Eesh. I mean, I get it, but again, in a game where like 3 military victory, maybe the thinking is you just got to get to 10. I think I would have had an attack first to see how it went before playing the hill trolls. Like, if this army does all right without the hill trolls, you don't need to use it there. And then hill trolls is like such a good defensive card if you do get stuck in a nasty situation, a sticky situation because of free people military aggression. Rohan goes to war. About goddamn time. That could be very good from just a defensive perspective because it's going to be hard for the Shadow to get up to 10. You know, an obvious target would be Helm's Deep. So if you can start mustering the Rohan in the background, it'd be very, very good. Erebor's attacked. Deadly Strife against Daylight. Good, well countered there. Only 2 hits. Yeah. I think I would have probably started with... I suppose you're probably holding the breaking to try and hurt the Fellowship. Maybe. And 5 back. Ouch. That is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Cycles into Relentless Assault, which is now not great because this is quite a small army. Rohan Elite is mustered into Western Met. So yeah, now the Rohirrim are a big issue. Yeah, that's a real problem for the Shadow. Musters a card, musters Ologhai. Again, I suspect this is going to be used in Erebor. Helm's Deep is mustered. Ologhai is used in Erebor. Yep. Yeah, really just trying to really brute force that military victory. This army's coming up here with these Rohirrim. Where are they going? Is there a through day and a night situation? There is a through day and a night situation. I missed that. It's a through day and a night. That could be charging into Mordor. Coming soon to a Mordor near you. Erebor is attacked again. Relentless Assault, okay. Goes for the 2. Rolls 2 hits. No more. No hits back from Columbo. So that's probably, could well be it for Erebor. It still needs 1 more 6. Still got 1 more press. 4 against 1. Just needs 1 6. Does get it. Okay. And the Shadow is up to 7. So now we're getting tight. And the danger there is that by sending this army away, even though Rohan is at war, it's not implausible that you could take Helm's Deep and Pelargir and just get up to 10 before the free people can get up to 4 now. I suppose this army can come back. But, yeah. Interesting game. Lots going on. Lots going on. Axe and Bow guards the Citadel. Oh, Path of the Woses could be interesting in this situation, actually. Oh, yeah. Path of the Woses. That's been in, I think, Columbo's hand since the very first turn. Half-Orcs and Goblin Men, the final forward mustering card, and Lore of the Ring. Shadows the Gather as well. And they have a little break. IRL, he says. Okay. Lots of eyes in the box. 4 to be precise. Another, well, fairly good military dice roll for the Fellowship, for the free people. Goes through day and night. Musters up a mega stack in South Anduin Vale. Didn't think they'd go that way. That's interesting. What's this army doing? Is it just really going to try and... I guess you make an army so big that it just can't be stopped. That seems to be Columbo's thinking here. And the other benefit of going for this strategy is you're also going to retake Lorien, which will buy a lot of time for the Fellowship and Mordor. So you're kind of like, I suppose, doing two things at once. You're quashing the Shadow's threat of winning the game militarily, buying yourself time while also threatening a military. So you're doing three things at once, while also threatening a military victory yourself. If this combat goes well, which with an Athalas, and Anduril, Sudden Strike, these are all fantastic cards for attacking into an army with not much in the way of leadership, and not likely to get any given Gandalf's in play. Musters next. Okay, good use of half-orcs and goblin men. Mustering into Dimrill Dale. Dimrill Dale from Gandalf. Here we go. Is this going to be... Oh, no, because Aragorn's not involved. I was thinking Anduril. Sorry, he's still hanging out here. I feel like he should have done more. You're meant to be the king, and you're just hanging out in a stupid wood, just chilling with the Ents. What's wrong with you, Aragorn? You know, they were right to doubt you. You're not a real king. All right. Plays Path of the Wozes as a sudden strike. So we're going to get 5. 2 hits. Okay. Not too bad. Good start. Columbo rolls pretty bad, though, on the actual rolls themselves. Columbo Commander Swift rolls hits hard back. That is big. That's against any free people army. 4 hits against in an open warfare is huge for the Shadow. Really, really good. Does force them to retreat, though. This is pretty wild. You have to just muster as much as you can, and just make this force just humongous, basically. Yeah. Going straight for Moria, not going for Lorien. You can go for Lorien later if you need to. It does not shine. Gandhi's fighting. Let's see what cards we've got. We do have... the Dread and Despair can't be used. Does Delray of Orthanc work here? If an ice and that's defending is in a stronghold, you could actually use Delray of Orthanc here because they are in the stronghold. Can't play that, mate. Oh, because Gandhi's not shining. You can play that. Sorry, I would have played Dread and Despair then, man. It's a great time to play Dread and Despair. Except there's only one Nazgul leadership. Not a great time to play Dread and Despair. Also, okay, that's not bad. That's good use of their terrible though. Pre from the charge, 1 hit. Columbo hits big this time. 4 hits. And 3 back from Shadow. Now there's, what's this? 6 HP against 7 HP. Presses. Goes into the siege. Yep. This is some pretty epic stuff. Gandalf and a Hobbit. I wonder if there's a way you can take Rivendell. No, clearly not with all these musters. I wonder why you go for single regs there. Would you not go? Are there any? Have you run out of elites? Probably have run out of elites, actually, haven't you? Yes, you have. No more wargs. Mega Stack descends upon Moria. Not looking good for the Shadow, I must say. Shadow's Gather is used. Ah, okay, touche. That was good play. Yeah. So a big army comes from Orthanc up to North Dunland. This gives... okay, so right now the pressure is actually on the Free People to win this fight in one go. Because if you don't win it in one go, you're going to get attacked into by an army of 11 HP, which does have rerolls. I wonder if there was a way that the Shadow could have actually foreseen this whole situation and done this earlier, because now it could be too late. Although I suppose, because ideally you want to be in the situation where this army can attack into this one before they're inside the siege. This army going into a siege and actually trying to take down the army is much, much less likely to succeed than this army attacking into it when it's sitting, when it's actually the one outside the siege, besieging Moria. Moria. All right, here we go. The battle of our time. Guess we're going for a charge against nothing. I'm guessing Gandhi. Sorry, he does shine, so Dread and Despair doesn't work. Play Devery of Orthanc, man. Play Devery of Orthanc. Yes, good job. Charge gets 1 hit. Columbo gets 3 hits. That's game. That's got to be game. 5 hits from Commander Swift, though. Oh. So slight mistake. Only 4 hits. Dread and Despair doesn't work. Because you can't forfeit. Yeah. So Columbo is just rolling like a demon right now. I mean, not going to lie, this is very, very lucky. The mighty attack is rendered useless because Columbo is just so damn good at rolling dice. And okay, how many HP are left? 6 HP. And this army has to kill 6 HP in 1 die. I don't see it happening personally. Morris put on the siege. Yeah, I think this is surely game. No cards of any... Yeah, no cards playable here. Fellowship unhides. Moria pray for crazy 6s. Yeah, so Commander Swift needs the luck that Columbo had the previous turn. Yeah. Commander Swift does not get said luck. Columbo does. Again. Yeah, if you reverse those rolls, this could be quite different. But that is surely the game. Has to press. Getting like average 6s. Columbo is getting well above average 6s. And that is good game. Can we see the stats? The free people... Okay, well, these must be switched. I mean, that can't be correct, can it? Only 10 6s rolled? I feel like Columbo rolled 10 6s in the last three like battles, let alone in total. But who knows? Maybe I'm missing something. I suspect this is just not correct. That's my feeling. But yeah, very interesting game. Thank you for sharing. Kind of thoughts. I mean, I explained my thoughts on Minas Tirith and Dale. I think that was probably where the Shadow went wrong. I think if the Shadow had just dealt with Dale when that became an issue, probably wins the game, or at least makes military so much more of a threat. Would force the Shadow to do, the Free People do something very different. Maybe the Free People then just muster loads in Gondor, and that becomes a whole other, alternate universe where military is still a big threat. I think I don't know if it was possible at some point. I would have tried to get, when you're holding Anduril, I know that it's like nice to have the threat of Ents to attack Orthanc, but like it's not that powerful. Especially if you have Ent cards, they're also useful defending Helm's Deep anyway. Like, I would have got Aragorn involved in this fight because simply because you're holding Anduril. Anduril is so goddamn powerful. Getting those 2 guaranteed extra hits, like, could have meant that this army was much bigger when it was holed up in Moria defending. I don't know. I'm kind of splitting hairs here. But I think when you've got him on the board and you're holding Anduril and you're going for military victory, like, you want to find a way of getting him involved. He's right. He's next door, man. Or maybe he just wants to, sit there filleting Ents. I don't know, whatever he's up to. All right, people. Another fun time. Hope you're all doing well. And see you around. And Columbo finally did the just one more thing. Just fucking let's destroy Moria. Bye-bye. Love you.